Hello Aries, welcome to your tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you happen to be watching this, this is the right time for you. Okay. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. Okay? And remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a 10 of discs. Very lovely way to begin a reading. We're beginning the new cycle of the zodiac with this reading, and I'm very excited for you, Aries. We're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I lay these cards out, I would also like to say that if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. We're going to continue here, finish up with the path of the serpent. A lot of fire energy kind of coming out here last minute. So this is really nice. I think you're in your element, as they say. We're going to do a mystery card, a bonus card, a confirmation card, and I think we're going to go with the Rider-Waite-Smith again, and a quick shuffle. Now this is the card that we're going to set aside. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading. Okay, so I encourage you to stick around, and we're just going to leave it right over there by the frog. And at the end, we'll see how that might tie everything together, or give us the confirmation that we need. Okay, so 10 of discs. You are someone, I think, who is very, you're very oriented toward the physical right now, okay? And what I mean by that is you are, I think you're coming from a very emotional place, and you're starting to refocus your life on practical progress, right? Taking care of your body, taking care of your finances, maybe getting your career advancing a little bit, taking care of the home. It's really like some things that maybe you haven't been paying attention to lately are now starting to get the focus that they deserve, starting to get the energy that they deserve. And I'm going to go straight to this 10 of Cups that's in the background here. Okay, this is kind of the recent past. I think this is the energy that we're coming off of. I think that I think you're getting over someone, okay? I think that you're starting to shift from this kind of overwhelmed, emotional, watery 10 of Cups kind of thing into this very practical, very hardworking, very enduring, very energetic 10 of discs, okay? Now, this isn't just, financial revenue or income or financial stability. This is really taking stock of what you have in your life, taking account of your position, right? Really looking at where you are versus where you want to be. And so we're going from this kind of emotional, more yielding, more kind of passive energy into this really active fire energy. So I really feel like you're turning a corner here in terms of maybe this past relationship or whoever this person is that you're getting over. Okay, and I don't think this is predicting any kind of future loss or breakup. I think this is something that you've already experienced, and it feels to me like it's kind of a breakup. It feels to me like it is, splitting up with a romantic partner. Okay, I'm going to try to get specific there. I think they may have a D in their initial. First name or last name may begin with the letter D. I do think it was romantic. I think that maybe the two of you even lived together, possibly. But I feel that there was just differences here. I feel like it was too much, the way that you and they express love or receive love. The love kind of language, I think, was not really compatible. Okay? And I'm led in that direction because we don't have very much air energy. The air that we do have is this 9 of Swords. So that is telling me that the two of you really had trouble communicating. There could have been a little bit of, smothering, a little bit too much of the affection kind of thing. Just getting, I think, crowding each other a little bit too much. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's sort of what happened there, and I think the communication wasn't really on point. Okay. And anyway, you're getting over this. You're starting to shift out of this kind of energy. You've experienced the loss and you've accepted it. You know, and we're getting over it. And that brings us to this really great fire energy. Like I said, you're really in your element now. I feel like you're really starting to, all of this fire that maybe you've been unconsciously or unintentionally suppressing is now really raging in you. Your creativity, your passion, your lust, your love for life, you know. And I think with this water energy, because again, this is the only kind of water energy that we have in the reading, is this Ten of Cups. I think you were so overwhelmed by the emotions, by that relationship, by the inability to really connect with that person, that it was keeping a lot of your fire energy down. But now that we are in the process of getting over that, all of your aspirations are coming back. All of your fiery energy is coming back. Your creativity, your enthusiasm, all of that stuff. Okay? And it's really leading you to some practical choices, making some practical changes, shifting focus onto more of a building kind of phase, right? You're understanding kind of what you want to do, where you want to go, versus what your position is on the map right now. So you're kind of trying to like map your course, right, to get to this Ten of Cups, this kind of the most perfect wealth and fulfillment, the most perfect manifestation that we could attain, right? We want to get as close as possible to the bullseye as we can. So you're really making positive changes, you're making new choices to bring yourself closer to your ideal state, right? And that's with physical fitness, physical health and well-being, diet and nutrition. This is with your domestic situation, your home, your possessions. This is also your finances, your debt, your career, your income, your expenses, like all of these kinds of things, right? You're really trying to get back on track. And I think you're doing it. And we see this Queen of Wands here. And this is showing me really the transition between the water into this fire energy. Because it's the Queen of Wands. It's the water of the fire, right? So you have this new energy about you. But you still have not completely and fully let go of this past situation. You know, and that's why I say that we're kind of in the process of getting over this relationship and getting on with things. We're starting to see the transition now between the water into the fire energy, right? Your ambition, your self-directed will, right? Your goals, your aspirations. And definitely what we don't want, though, is to be interrupted by this air energy, by this Nine of Swords. So this is maybe one type of future that we need to be aware of, a potential here. That rather than really making progress, let's say vertically, we're just going to keep going in a circle, just around and around on the horizontal plane. Going the Nine of Swords back to the Ten of Cups, and then we're trying to process through into the fire, but we keep getting interrupted by the Nine of Swords. And this is a lot of that miscommunication. This is falling into the trap of arguments, of trying to, text and call and communicate with this person and to try to hash things out, to try to get closure, to try to argue our point, or try to fight for the relationship rather than accepting the reality of it, right? And continuing on your vertical trajectory, which is this Wheel of Fortune and this Tower energy. Okay? If we get stuck on the horizontal, it's just going to be a continuous cycle. Round and around we go. Right? And the Nine of Swords is really communication that it's not effective. It is not productive. It's not healthy exchange with this person. Okay, a lot of low blows going on here with the 9. Right? This is a conversation that's really going to start hitting below the belt, and I don't think that's productive at all. I think that sets you back into this 10 of Cups. And then we've got to work our way to transition into the fire energy so we can get to that 10 of Discs, right? We're almost trying to go from the water state to the earth state through the activity of the fire, right? Because water and earth are both yielding, passive, kind of mellow elements or states of being, right? The fire energy is a way of being, okay? And the air energy, the 9 of Swords, is a way of being. We don't want this way, because this way is going to take us to the state of, well, I think the overwhelming emotion of the 10 of Cups. And that's not what we're trying to do. So we're trying to get through the way of being with this fire energy. We're trying to do the Queen of Wands way of doing things. And this way is going to take you to the Wheel of Fortune, through the Tower, to the 10 of Discs. And that's where we want to be. The 10 of Discs is like your ideal outcome, your ideal success, your future, your stability. Again, health and fitness and well-being, diet and exercise, your health, your wealth, your fitness, and your finances, right? And everything that those words imply. So we have to make sure that we harness our fire energy, and that's our real ambition. That's the real energy that we have when we can attach our attention, our concentration, our focus onto this goal. There's nothing that's going to stop us, right? This air energy is going to try to get in the way to keep us on this water air cycle, but we're trying to ascend. We're trying to go vertical, right? And first thing we encounter is that Tower energy. It's like we have to break free from this relationship. Once you're fully, over it, I guess, that's going to be the freedom to really unleash this fiery energy. And we see so much fire on the path of the Serpent that it's unstoppable. Once you kind of get onto this train over here, it's going to be just very fast moving. But the first thing we have to do is really break free. We need that Tower moment. We need to kind of rip this thing off like a Band-Aid. We can't go slow. We can't put it back on and say, I'll wait till later and do it. It's going to hurt, but we have to just pull it off. We have to have the closure. We have to have the resolution, at least within ourselves, that this is it. There is a definite break here. Okay? And again, I don't think this is predicting anything coming in your future. I think this is a relationship that is ending currently for you, or has already ended, but there's still this 9 of Swords. There's this kind of lingering. There's this kind of going back and forth, maybe on again, off again, maybe reconsidering, a lot of doubt. We need to have that Tower moment. It needs to be a final decision, okay? And that's how you break free. That's how you break through, and we get back on this wheel, right? The Wheel of Fortune. It's like we're getting back on the train, and we're going to see where it goes. We're getting out of Dodge, right? And this is beneath the surface, so I think this is your sense of purpose and destiny that maybe you've been ignoring for a little while. Maybe there has been something in the back of your mind that's kind of urging you into this fire, into your own path, into the things that were once very meaningful to you, but that you've sacrificed in some way for this relationship. And now this kind of wheel of destiny, this Wheel of Fortune, is starting to make itself known again. And you're starting to resonate a little bit more with this, And these energies are starting to push you forward. You're starting to see the direction that you're supposed to be taking in life. And that kind of spiritual feeling, that creative feeling, that that excitement and enthusiasm, right? Being filled with this kind of this spiritual light, almost, right? Being filled with the spirit of God, goddess, deity, higher self, higher soul, guardian angel, whatever. So we're really putting a lot of faith and trust in this, that we're making the right decision. And even though horizontally we want to kind of go back and forth, we want to kind of get back into it and rehash things or to try again, etc. We're putting a lot of trust on this Jupiter energy, this Wheel of Fortune, that universe knows best, And I think when we do trust this kind of Wheel of Fortune, this sense of destiny, this sense of synchronicity when you know you're on the right path, when you put your faith and your trust into that energy, things seem to work out in a different way for you, right? You'll get those confirmations from the world around you. You'll get those signs and synchronicities that tell you you're on the right path, And that's why I say this is something that's kind of always in the back of your mind. You always feel the call of your aspiration. But we've, I think, done a very good job of ignoring that call or, turning the volume down a little bit. But now the volume is turned up. We see all of this fire energy. And if we can take all of this for what it is and get over to the path of the Serpent, first thing we have is the Prince of Wands. Now this is taking perhaps the refusal to go back and to continue this, I think, kind of a toxic cycle with the Nine of Swords. If we refuse to do that and we get control of this air energy, okay, we get control of that impulse to have those kind of, below the belt arguments and go back to the Ten of Cups state. If we can really get a handle on that impulse, on that air energy, on that sword, we'll take that air into this fire realm. We'll take all of the energy that's stored up in that sword, and we'll get on this chariot of fire, and we'll start actually doing the work toward that Ten of Discs, toward our ideal, future, Because the Prince of Wands is the air of the fire. So you're taking this air energy and you're channeling it into this activity, this ambition, this, new projects, new enterprises, new decisions, new adventures, new whatever you've got going on, whatever in this physical, this earth realm needs your attention. The things that you really want to start constructing for your life, Now the next card is the Empress energy. Now this is telling me at the beginning, when we were looking at the path of the dove, that this is a romantic relationship, maybe someone that you lived with, okay? In this case now, looking at it from the perspective of the path of the Serpent, we see all of this fire energy, but you've got a lot of this Empress within you. And this is your ability to truly love and to truly have compassion and to truly care for people. You're a very deep, thoughtful person. You're a very caring, very nurturing person. So with all of this fire energy, we have to remember that perhaps this fire is the outward mode of activity right now, but inside of us, we still have this kind of soft spot, right? You're not just all fire through and through. You have a depth to you, a compassion to you, a love, a desire to love, a desire to have fulfillment beyond this Ten of Discs. The Ten of Discs, I always say, contains all of the other elements. It's not just physical wealth and physical success and the state of being wealthy in the physical realm. The Pentacles contain all of the other elements, okay? And whether we start from the top and work down, or in this case, we're starting with the earth, we're getting our horizontal life in order so that we can ascend, right? And we can start doing work on these other planes. The discs really indicate a intellectual, emotional, and spiritual wealth, not just the physical wealth, right? So this is your ideal on every plane. But we're starting perhaps with these physical, horizontal world decisions and choices and actions, okay? And so the Empress here is really indicating that there is a depth to your soul with this emotional component that strives for connection, strives for the emotional part of this wealth, right? The 10 of discs. So it really is a very holistic thing that you're doing, a very holistic path. You're not just fire energy through and through, okay? So you are someone who has a very great capacity for love, for affection, for caring for other people. You're very, very passionate and very compassionate, okay? And so this is something to definitely keep in mind, because I feel like this is your greatest asset. This is really what you, and it's probably because there is the connection between that and the relationship that you are in. I think this is why there is this kind of impulse to continue on the horizontal cycle that we saw in the path of the dove. Kind of going back and forth, getting back into the relationship, on and off, up and down, cycling through that thing again. Because we have this intense desire to love and be loved and show affection and have these really deep, fulfilling connections with people, you know. But I don't think this is the one. I think you're in the process of getting over that situation, okay? And I'm not telling you what to do. The tarot's not telling you what to do. We're just giving a snapshot of what the energy is right now, okay? This is just what it looks like, and all of this fire energy. The next one we have is the Ace of Wands. Now, this is the source of your spiritual energy, your force fire, your creativity, your inspiration. This is the torch that you're carrying into your new future, into the unknown, really, right? It's the fiery torch that you carry to light your way. Okay, your ideals, this is what inspires you. This is just that excitement and the aspiration that you feel when you know that you're doing your will, when you know that you're following your purpose, you know, that you're listening to that voice of destiny that's kind of calling to you. This is also in the position of your fears and worries, okay? So there is some fear that could creep in, some anxiety. There is the ego that could kind of get a little bit frightened at the prospect of doing this and perhaps doing it without this relationship that we were in. Doing it alone, I guess, for all intents and purposes. So there's a little bit of anxiety with that. What if the torch goes out? What if we lose connection to this fiery aspiration? You know? What if this is just the ego getting excited and this really isn't us heeding the call of our destiny, right? A lot of what ifs kind of creeping in. But we have to remember that it is this Knight of Wands that carries this ace, right? So in some ways we have to be kind of led away by the horse, right? You see the Knight of Wands there. It's hard to tell if the knight is in control or if the horse is just kind of just carrying everybody away, right? So we have to hold our torch. We have to really grasp our aspiration. And in some ways we have to just let our body move. We have to let our being be propelled in that direction and not think about it too much. Because once we stop and think about it, then we're going to kind of come to a standstill and we're going to say, hey, wait a minute. What if I'm wrong? What if? You know. So hold that torch as tightly as you can and let the horse carry you off. Right? The horse knows where it's going. Just try not to fall off, you know. And the Knight of of Wands is really a swift energy that has tremendous endurance. This is not going to be a very quick process for you. This is something that we need to learn how to sustain. Okay? So we have to make sure that we experience love and beauty and joy and pleasure and affection. That we give and receive compassion and empathy, right, with this Empress energy here. Because we need that to sustain this night, right? Because this is going to be a long journey. It's not going to be just, a day and a night and then you're there. It's going to be a long haul. But that's okay if you're holding on to this Ace of Wands, to this torch. Holding on to your will, to your aspiration, to your love, your sense of beauty, and your joy in doing your will, your joy in following your path, your destiny, right? We're going to look at this mystery card now. I wonder if the mystery card is going to be a different type of water energy, maybe a Six of Cups. It could be a Six of Discs, I guess, or a Three of Discs, kind of showing that we're reaching a milestone, that we're getting to a resting place eventually. The night has reached the inn, right? Maybe halfway through the journey or something. But it's another Ace of Wands. So now we have two. But the will cannot be two. The Ace cannot be two, right? So I think this card's really a warning about changing directions, about assuming that we were wrong, right? Well, what if this whisper, this destiny, this song that I'm hearing is actually telling me something different, right? And that's all part of us stopping and asking why and what if, and then we start to think that maybe a different direction is the right direction. So this is a reminder that our will, our aspiration has to be unified, right? Our physical goals have to be in line with our mental, our emotional, our spiritual goals. It's not four different goals. It's all one. There's one torch, there's one path. Okay. Now that path could have a lot of twists and turns, a lot of kind of side quests, and a lot of distractions. But we have to remember that the will is one and needs to be unified and singular. And that again is kind of holding to this decision. Well, you've made the decision to break free from this situation, to get over this situation in your life. If we had two wands, that would say, well, maybe it is my destiny or my will to go back into this relation. And then we're right back here in this cycle that we were talking about, right? So we don't want to second guess ourselves. We don't want to think that, that the grass is maybe greener over here, or that this is really what our destiny is, right? Because if we allow the ego to have too much of an influence over us, these wands, these two aces of wands will become many wands, will become a 10 of wands, and we don't want that. So this is I think this is the reminder, the gentle reminder, that it has to be unified. You have to have all of your forces have to be rallied behind the same goal, the same will, We're going to go ahead with the extended, and if you want to stick around for that, you can click on the link that's right up there. This was your timeless tarot reading. Whenever you happen to be watching this, this is when it's meant for you, okay? I want to thank you so much for letting me read for you here on Dove and Serpent Tarot.